Producers, this is what we're gonna be making in this video. Yeah, it's phenomenal. There's a lot going on, and it's pretty awesome to make. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna go ahead and load the init patch. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with Oscillator 1. I'm gonna change up the shape. This is how you change the shape. You just add or remove these. That's the shape I'm looking for. Before we move on though, I'm gonna go ahead and turn unison on. That really transforms the sound. I'm gonna leave it at 2. I'm also gonna add some drift here. I want a pretty sloppy sound, and I also wanna add some glide and really open up the spread and stereo as well. Okay, it's a little bit harsh, but trust me, we're gonna get to where we wanna go. Let's add a little bit of pitch modification before we move on as well to Oscillator 1. Great, and the next thing I want to do is send Oscillator 1 to Modulator 1 for now. I'm going to go ahead and just pull this up, and as I do that, you'll see visually that the shape is moving. And I'm going to pull it up a little bit more. So right now it's going to Modulator 1. That's going to change in a minute, but let's go ahead and just pull down the speed of Modulator 1 just for now, maybe like 0.10. Beautiful. It's a little bit of crackly, but we're going to fix that in a second. Next thing I'm going to do is switch over to Oscillator 2, and let's work out the sound over here. Now, that's pretty cool, but I want to like reduce the toothiness of the sawtooth, and I can do that by taking this and moving this over, and you'll see again that the shape moves. So I'm going to take that and make it a little more subdued. Now I want this one to be bassy. So what I'm gonna do is instead of sync to the keyboard, I'm gonna turn that off. Tell me that's not gnarly. Just that alone is awesome. But I'm gonna pull that up a little bit. I don't know, somewhere around 54.1 sounds good. And let's go ahead and mix in the two now. So we've got our low end now in Oscillator 2 and a lot of movement happening on the higher end of the frequency spectrum driven by Oscillator 1. Let's start to filter it and deal with our amp envelope. So this is a pad, so a pretty long attack is pretty standard, pretty long release. And let's roll off some of the filter. Cool, I'm gonna add some character. And I'm gonna add some FM to Oscillator 2. And I can pull down the volume too, that's quite loud. And next thing I wanna do is go to Modulator 1 with that. And add key tracking about to midnight position. Now, the next thing I want to do is modulate the speed of Modulator 1 with Modulator 2. It's going to come in key later. Trust me, it's awesome. The way to do that is come over here, and again, I'm going to bring it down pretty slow, maybe like 1.25 or something. And when I click that, I've got my modulation routing over here, and I can just click that and go to Modulator 1 and then use this as the amount. Nothing's happening right now, but remember on Oscillator 1 when we were sending this to the shape modification to Modulator 1, if I click over and send it to Modulator 2 now, look at the wave shape before we even play the sound. It starts slow, then it goes fast, and then slows down. Let's listen to that now. really starting to make the sound more interesting and character rich. The next thing I want to do though is make some white noise do the same sort of thing. When I click right here, this will actually become a white noise shape. Okay, but what I want to do is click that, and down here in the modulation, I want to go to modulation 2, and I also want to go to the filter envelope. And again, we're going to come up and make a long attack, and decay, and release. Now again, nothing's happening, but if I click right here and then add the amount of the modulation send, tell me that's not cool. So the next thing I want to do is maybe just pull down the rate here just a little bit. Now add a couple effects and we're gonna get a massive sound. So I'm gonna turn on the chorus, I'm gonna send it 100%, but slow it down just a little bit. And turn on the reverb. And this actually has this one called Galactic, which is massive. And I'm gonna go ahead and just crank it up. It sounds so good. And we're pretty much there. Now we can just fine tune, maybe add something to the mod wheel. So if we want to add some things to the mod wheel, right, to make, if we use the mod wheel, maybe make it a bigger sound, what I could do is come over here and click on this sub oscillator here and send that to the mod wheel and add it quite a bit, and do the same thing with the sawtooth, mod wheel, add a bunch. And as I move that up, you'll see very helpful visual notifications here that is increasing the level of those. And let's just see what happens if I send that to the mod wheel and bring it down. So it's a pretty big significant change there, but not too outside of the realm of what we're already making. So it's still going to fit well if you're, manipulating that during the course of a track. Another thing we can do is maybe take the filter and apply that to the touch bar. So come over here, touch strip rather. So if I crank it over here, now as I increase that, the filter will come down. So if I'm looking for a more subdued kind of like heavy pad, we can use it that way. Oh, the last thing I want to do is actually, let's add the pan to modulator 1. Just to add a little bit of movement there. And as I increase that, you'll see the pan go up. That's probably too far. I'm going to pull it down a little bit.